Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Travis Dykes, and today I'm going to be going over how to use the metronome on the Moises app. I have taught a lot of different people how to play bass and how to play different instruments. And one of the main things that I always make sure everybody does is play with a metronome. Now, sometimes when you're learning techniques and different things like that, it can be a little bit boring to play with a metronome. It's like, you play your major scales, whatever. But when you actually can play with the metronome on the songs that you love and the songs that you listen to all the time, it just changes everything. So I'm going to show you real quick on how you could do that with the Moises app. So the first thing is I got my track in here. Let me just play a little bit of it so you kind of get an idea of the vibe. Okay. So I'm a bass player, so this bass line feels really cool. It's really nice. You know, it's just like it's kind of fast, it's kind of moving. But let me tell you this: when I was younger and I was trying to figure out something like this, it would take me so long because it's going so fast, and I'm like, oh my gosh. So this is where partly this metronome function really helps out. So all we're gonna do is we're gonna go and automatically, if you already noticed at the bottom left corner of the screen, is that it already automatically determines what the BPM is, which that's the, how fast it is. And so now what we could do is click on that BPM, and you see we have our metronome. We got some things here on the screen that are not used right now. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna hit the metronome function, turn it on, and now these are gonna be active. Now watch this. Now let's go back and play it from the top. All right, see, now it's playing the metronome while, the track is playing, and it's playing it perfectly in tune with it. That's why artificial intelligence is so cool, because they can just read it so quick. So now let's watch this. So I'm gonna go back to the top and say, I'm like, man, I wanna practice this, but it's just a little too fast. So, all right, so we're at the original BPM. Is 112 BPM. So it's like, okay, let me bring it down a little bit. Let's scroll to 100. You see that blue indicator lets you know that it's different than the original speed of it. So you always know, okay, if I get really comfortable with it at 100, that blue indicator just lets you know, hey, just remember, this is not full speed. All right, so now we change it there. I can go back and I can play it. It's a little bit more manageable, but you see how it preserves the audio quality in the sense of where you can hear the actual notes, and it's not changing the pitch of the notes. It's just changing the speed, which that's one of the things with a lot of AI that I was like not, all about, because a lot of AIs that I've worked with in the past is just like, oh man, that's just so, it's one of those things. It's like, man, well, I can't really learn that because every time I slow it down, it sounds like, it sounds like really bad. But that's what I really love about this. So yeah, so now we slowed it down to 100 BPM. I'm gonna get it again. Okay, now let's say that's still too fast for us and we're more of a beginner. We can slow this down even more. Let me go to like 80. Now, when you get down to this slow, it starts to sound a little bit more robotic, a little bit really unnatural, but it is totally okay. Because if we're practicing it, we're not necessarily doing this as a cover, having to click in for a cover. We're just doing this to learn. So that's why it's totally okay. So now that we got that, well, let's say, okay, let's go back to, we just hit the reset button and go back to 112. And now it's white. It's back at the original. What we could do as well is say we're practicing this. We're playing it, okay? And it's just like, man, that click is just too loud. I could just adjust it to as much or as little as I want it to be in there, so we can practice and learn it, which is really cool. And what's also super cool as well is that you can pan the click left or right. You can pan it all the way to the left and all the way to the right, or you can just have it right there in the center, which is a really, really cool function of it. The reason why this function is so valuable is because when it comes to learning, comes to practicing, you want to make sure, especially as a bass player or as bass players or drummers or different things like that, you want to make sure your rhythm is locked in tight. And so when you have that metronome is there, you know exactly what speed, you know exactly what the pulse is of the music that you are playing. This is such a powerful function of Moises AI. So if you have any questions about this, or if you want to try this app out, check out in the description below where you can download the app for free. Thank you guys so much. See you next time.